Hey everybody, welcome to the Austin VR Lab VRaaS Cast Live number 8. Today is December 18th, 2020, and we're so excited that you were able to join us. My name is Mohammed. Andre's here in the studio today. We are going to be experiencing,
Hey
yeah,
guys, how's it
there
going?
there's our everything cam so you can see all the screens that we have
hmm
set up. So today we are going to be hopping into virtual reality in Google Earth VR live for you guys. So we're definitely excited for you to join us. We're waiting for some people to come in. So while we're waiting, we're just going to explain to everybody what it is that we actually do here at Austin VR Lab. So Austin VR Lab, we are a full-scale virtual reality services firm. So we provide virtual reality as a service, hence the name VRaaS. So we have access to technology, hardware, and we provide. Oh, that's a really cool picture in the background. So I got the Chromecast switching pictures behind me, so that kind of took my eye away. Man, that's beautiful. All right, so I'm about to have a baby, so the whole mother-child thing is pretty awesome. So virtual reality as a service. So Austin VR Lab, we provide access and facilitation to hardware. We provide production and creation of content and curation of content and help distribute that content. And then we also provide VR education and training simulation. So we provide education and certification in how to get in VR, how to put other people in VR, but also training once you are inside of VR of all the different things that are capable, everything from the workplace to the classroom. We try to apply VR to all ages, and we can apply it as art, we can apply it to industry, or we can apply it as even therapeutics for all ages. So there's so many possibilities with VR. There's only one solution, and that's Austin VR Lab, and hence the name, the VRaaS Cast, Virtual Reality as a Service. So welcome to the VRaaS Cast Live. If you have any questions, please be interactive in our chat. We love to answer them as we explore the VR space. So little bit about how this format works is Monday is VR News Day, where we show you all the latest and greatest VR technologies that are up and coming and that are available to use. And then on Wednesdays, we will dive into an Austin VR Lab project. One of the ways that we're using VR here at Austin VR Lab to impact the arts and impact industry. And then on Friday, we like to get in VR, whether it's with a live demonstration of the technology or just maybe even getting in a game or two and playing it. But hopefully, you will like, comment, and subscribe and join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We like to do it around lunchtime, keep it short, something you can tune in during lunch and spend some time with us and get engaged and learn a little bit about virtual reality. So while Andre heads over to the VR space, we're going to go ahead and pop over there with him. I'm going to show you how we enter VR and then how we start exploring in Google Earth VR. So without further ado, here's Andre, and I will be joining him.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. We're gonna do some really good VR stuff today. Many good things to come.
Hey,
Yay!
awesome.
Yeah.
So, first step of getting into a VR headset. So, now getting into VR, once you're used to it, once you're acclimated, you can do these steps by yourself. But a lot of people, when they're getting into VR, it's still their first time or they still need help with adjustment. So, whether it's during a live event, an exhibition, an activation, or even just a presentation that you're making in VR, it's always good to have someone who specializes in VR there in the room with you so you can focus on what you're doing, and the VR operator and specialist can focus on the person that's being put into VR. It's kind of like squiring, that's how I compare it. When knights used to go
Yeah.
into battle, they would need a squire to put on their helmet and give them their jouster sword and kind of help them walk them through what they were about to get into. Kind of like when you go golfing and you need a caddy to hand you your clubs, or you need them to help you judge the course better. So it's always good to have a VR operator there to help put the headset on, make sure everything is comfortable, and troubleshoot any issues that might happen outside of VR for you. Again, once you go through our training programs and once you're trained up in VR. A lot of this you can do by yourself, but it's always good to have a VR expert nearby in case you do need some troubleshooting help. So we're going to go ahead and Andre's going to dive in eyes first into this headset. We're going to tighten up this knob behind them. And now he can adjust this onto his face to get him the best focus possible. Andre can also walk around in the space. So the screen you're seeing right now is the home space. It's the launch screen in which you will enter VR. And so we will dangle these controllers in front of Andre. Andre will grab them. So now these controllers look a lot in virtual reality like they do in real life. There are track pads here for your thumbs, trigger fingers for your index finger, grip buttons on the side. Now, all these, another good reason to have a VR expert at on site with you, especially if you're new to VR, is all these buttons do different things in different applications. And it's always good to have one of our VR experts there that's experienced enough to be able to teach you and walk you through what these buttons do. And maybe for your clients or maybe whoever is in VR in the presentation, if it's not you, so you can focus on the presentation, have someone else there to help manage the VR portion. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back over to the computer, and Andre and I, we're going to go exploring through Google Earth. In the meantime, Andre is going to explore this studio space and show you how he moves around, take you out maybe to the balcony, and awesome. So we are exploring with Andre here. Awesome. And so now Andre is in there. So Andre can actually move over to the menu board and launch everything from within VR. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger for us. So Andre, as he's moving around in this space, he does have access to, access games and access the menu and access experiences. But our VR experts are also here on the outside, and we can manage things from outside of the system as well. So we're going to go ahead and launch Google Earth for Andre. Let me go ahead and close this out real quick. Andre will still see it in there. I'm just closing the view out here. We will go ahead and launch Google Earth VR. So Google Earth VR is one of my favorite experiences to do in VR. You get to travel all over the world, fly around like you're Superman. Let's go ahead and make that bigger. And let's make me a little bit smaller here so you can get a better view of what's going on. And then there's Andre still in the VR space. So he is still there. Awesome. So now the Earth is being built around Andre. And so Andre is really getting a 3D experience here of what he is seeing. Let's go ahead and make him a little bit bigger. So first up, what we're going to do is we are going to open up the menu. And we'll go ahead and turn off comfort mode.
Gotta skip the intro.
Yeah, go ahead and skip the intro.
Yeah.
We don't have to do the intro today.
There we go.
Awesome. So one of the things that we recommend in Google Earth, just so you get the full-on experience, is we are going to click those three dots in the top right. We're going to turn off restrict altitude because we don't want to restrict our altitude. We're going to go ahead and turn off comfort mode as well. So comfort mode applies a gray screen around you while you're flying. It can kind of help with your depth perception and flying around, but it's way more fun both visually and experientially to fly around without that comfort mode on. Again, if someone needs it to be on, it's always turned on by default. We turn it off to give a better experience. We think it's actually more comfortable without it. But again, that's something that the VR operator can help whoever's in VR establish while they're in VR to help keep it the most comfortable experience as possible. So we're going to start out with a flying lesson in Manhattan. So if you want to go ahead and select on Manhattan there, awesome. Cool. So now, as Andre moves around on his trackpad there, he will be able to fly slowly through the city like he's Superman or Spider Man. Pick your Marvel hero. And as he flies around the city, wherever he's pointing to, whether he's pointing up or he's pointing down, is where he will go to. And what we're getting right now is that first person view of what Andre is seeing. So as he turns his head or as he moves around, we can see what he is seeing. And Andre, if you want to explain a little bit about how the 3D aspect of it feels in there, and
You can really get the depth. You can really feel where you are. You, it's a, there's really vibrant and everything's laid out. I haven't been to New York City myself. Um, this really is a really awesome place to be.
awesome. Now let's fly up there real quick. Let's try to find Central Park and show what it looks like from inside of Central Park. I think you were going the right way. Just go up and over that set of buildings
there
there.
it is. Found it.
Awesome. So once you're in VR, one of the really cool things, so this is Google Earth VR, so all the street views and 360 pictures that photographers like Austin VR Lab and photographers all over the world take. We take these 360 pictures, we upload them to Google Earth, and in Andre's right hand there is a little ball. He can put that on his face and go ultra photorealistic and enter one of these spaces.
Yeah.
Now, some of these spaces are connected to others, and you can slide through picture to picture and kind of get a virtual tour of an area. This works really well with Google Street View. So if we were to take that ball off and fly over to a street or fly down into the middle of the park there, put the ball back up, Andre will see those white arrows on the ground. Squeeze that trigger when he sees one of those white arrows, and it will slide him over to the next street view picture. So this is a street view Google Earth VR hybrid application, so you can get best of all worlds. Now, when Andre is not in the photosphere, when he takes that photosphere off, this is a 3D scan and a photogrammetry layover of the space. So we'll go ahead and fly up there. And so you still get the 3D laser scan of what Google Earth has put together with their scan, their satellite imagery all wrapped together to create this wonderful VR space. And so this is a great opportunity to travel around the world, check out sites before you might have to travel. And in the modern day of COVID and restricted travel and restricted work travel, it's great for site visits, for going and scouting out places rather than having to travel. Work sites, job sites, future quotes and bids can always be better place if you actually have mapped out an area and know how to get in and out or what a job's going to entail. It's always easier to have been there and travel there, and Google Earth and VR makes that as realistic as possible. And that's just a beautiful, bright, sunny day that Andre's enjoying in Google Earth VR in New York City. Awesome. A really cool picture is if you can find the top of the Empire State Building. A little pop quiz for Andre, who's never been. So we're gonna, there. Wow, found it real quick. Awesome. So there is the top of the Empire State Building, and if you look at your hand there, the photosphere on top of the building is super awesome. Gonna slide in there slowly, give you that top of the Big Apple look. Don't drop the ball unless it's New Year's Eve. Awesome. And so this really gives you a whole new perspective of the world. And like I said, you can travel in VR in Google Earth all day, all night. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic way to travel and explore this wonderful planet that we all live on. Now, what we're going to do, of course, we are Austin VR Lab, so our next stop in Google Earth VR will have to be the wonderful city of Austin, Texas, where Austin VR Lab is headquartered, hence the name Austin VR lab.
Oh
So there's two
yeah.
ways to get there. Andre can either pull up the menu and type in an address there with the magnifying glass at the bottom, or we can go our favorite way, which is we're gonna, there he goes, we're gonna blast off into space there. We're gonna adjust our angle and then fly a little bit further away from the Earth, and we can now grab the Earth with the trigger finger and rotate and spin it to an area where we want to go. And so as he zooms into the great state of Texas in there, we are going to see all the cities start to pop up. So there's Houston, there's Austin, there's Dallas, San Marcos. So let's go ahead and zoom a little bit down into Austin, head right over Lady Bird Lake, adjust our angles. Let's, the first place I like to go, of course, the iconic Frost Bank Tower, the crown that
Mm.
crowns our beautiful city here in Austin. So an HVAC company approached me and was like, "How can we apply the heating and air conditioning market and VR? How can we combine those two and showcase how VR is going to help the HVAC market?" And I was like, "Great! One of my favorite things to do in VR is Google Earth and to fly to the tops of these buildings." And as Andre flies around downtown Austin and shows you the tops of these buildings, one thing you'll notice is a lot of these buildings, almost all of them, house their HVAC units on their rooftops. And so, of course, they saw that immediately and were like, we have to have this at our heating and air conditioning convention. And once we were able to put people in the industry, in the HVAC industry, into the headset and put them in Google Earth, they immediately saw the potential and were like, this is going to make bidding jobs so much easier. So say you're in Phoenix and you're bidding a job in Dallas, or you're in LA bidding a job in Austin, and you need to know how to get in and out of the city, what their rooftop looks like, what HVAC units they already have on their rooftops. This is a great way to travel to the job site before actually having to get out there, so you can maybe put in a better estimate, quote, or bid on a job. So just right off the bat, that's one way Google Earth has helped an industry like HVAC. And in construction, you can check out, oh, another great view of Austin and the street view, county courthouse. Awesome, that beautiful church. The name of that church actually slips my mind. I know it, it's on the tip of my tongue. Um,
It slips mine too.
but Austin, and so that's just one of the ways we can apply Google Earth to industry. But how about education? Of course, and like we talked about before, maybe field trips aren't as possible as they once were in the past with our current climate of COVID and, restricted travel. But if we need to take students on a tour of the Capitol, we want to show them what the Capitol building looks like. I know growing up here in Austin, we were able just to take a school bus down to the Capitol, but students in Dallas or Houston or San Antonio may not all have that privilege. But we still all need to visit the state capitol because it is a part of our history and our current government. So now we can actually do that in Google Earth VR and feel like you're really there standing in front of it. In fact, if you even fly through the grounds of the Capitol, there are some 360 pictures within there. So you can actually fly into the building and check out the rotunda from the inside. Here's a great night shot. Oh, so inside, you're just gonna get the skeleton view, but
There you go.
then put that on your face and look up, and you're gonna get a great view of the rotunda there. And there's so many 360 pictures in there, and you can scan from one to the next and get a view of what it's like inside the Capitol building there. Andre moves around the grounds there. Isn't that awesome? That's so cool. And so we've been doing VR for years now. I mean, Austin VR Lab was established in 2016, and we've been in and out of these systems and in and out of programs, and it's just as much fun and exciting to watch Andre in this platform today as it was to jump in it myself for the first time in 2016. So here's another view of the rotunda, and if you look up there, ah, what a great shot and great view. Awesome. So what's another way we could, travel in VR, and why would we want to travel in VR? So maybe you want to visit your alma mater, maybe you wanted to go to the University of Texas, or maybe your children are thinking about going to the University of Texas and you want to do a campus visit. So let's go ahead and check out the great University of Texas at Austin. Under's going to fly up and give us the bird's eye view of the campus. And there you have the UT Tower there in front of you. And then if you look over to the right, Texas Stadium, hook 'em. Awesome. So we're going to fly down there into the stadium, score a touchdown. Awesome. So you can score a touchdown. And then you can also, they have photospheres there as well, where you can actually hop down onto the field and get a look of what it would look like from the center of that Longhorn right there on the 50-yard line. So here's a view that not many people would get and not many people would even experience on a normal college visit, and you can go ahead and check it out all in VR. So while we're touring Austin, of course, our second biggest attraction. Oh, so that is, we've actually have eaten here. This is the UT Clubhouse, where you can go enjoy lunch or dinner. They have a great menu, a great buffet spread. You can go anytime during the week. It's open as a lunch cafeteria, but also before and after the Texas football games, you can enjoy a meal here. So this is a cool place to, hey, do I really want to go into the Texas Clubhouse to grab a meal? You can go ahead and check out what it looks like before you ever even go in. All right. And so the next great place in Austin. So now we're going to show you how to get to a location by typing in an address or a landmark. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the magnifying glass there, and we're going to go to the Circuit of the Americas. So we can go ahead and type in COTA, COTA, Circuit of the Americas track, and pull it up there. So that's how you get there, by typing in an address. You just pull out the magnifying glass, type in the landmark, and welcome to the famous Formula One F1 track
This is so
located here
cool.
in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
So you can actually fly around the area. You can see the 360 amphitheater there. You can get a bird's eye view of the track. And then as you fly down to the track, one of the cool things about this raceway is you'll put one of those photospheres on your face, and the whole track is mapped out in 360. So if you wanted to run the whole track there in Google Earth VR, you could just go photo to photo to photo and slide through the track and get a sense of what the drivers are feeling or seeing as they're moving around the track. Now, one of these days, maybe even next Friday, we do have the race chair set up. You can kind of see it there in the background of Andre's video. You see those race chairs? Well, we actually get in those race chairs and race around the COTA track and McLarens and Ferraris and Lamborghinis in virtual reality, and it is an amazing experience, and hopefully we can provide that experience to you one day if you ever bring us on to do one of your projects, or you want to come by the studio. We would love to have you and put you into one of these race chairs. So here's a couple race fans hanging out by the track watching the race. But if you ever wanted to race the racetrack yourself, that is something you can definitely do here at Austin VR Lab in our studios. Let's go ahead and take a look at the amphitheater there too while we're there.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So many great shows happen here at the 360 Amphitheater. And so here's another way to check out the venue before you even arrive in the city, if you had a Google Earth VR view of what the amphitheater looked like. So now again, all these pictures are available on Google Street View and on Google Earth, but it's totally a different experience when you have that headset on your face and you're able to travel there and be in the space and be present. Awesome.
I'll never get tired of this. This is so much fun.
Okay, and We are coming up on the 25-minute mark. We're so glad you joined us today for the VRaaS cast. We're going to end it with a sunset on the Pennybacker Bridge. I just showed Andre the Pennybacker Bridge here in Austin. So we'll go ahead and while he's moving over there, again, I want to thank you for joining us on the VRaaS cast live number 8. It's Friday, so today was our VR experience day. Join us on Monday. I believe it's the 21st. And we will be doing VR News Day. Again, the VRaaS cast is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. There's that wonderful view of the Pennybacker Bridge there. Awesome. And don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe. Join us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays around 11:45, always around lunchtime. Hop in, be a part of our community. Be sure to drop us some chat so we can answer any of your questions. We'll keep bringing you the latest and greatest in virtual reality. So thanks for joining us on the VRaaScast, brought to you by Austin VR Lab. And until next time, we will see you in the future.